The countryside, we all love it. For most of us, it's a place to relax and get closer to nature. But who looks after the countryside? And how much do you actually know about all of this? I'm Adam Henson. As a farmer, I spend a lot of my time caring for the countryside. Up and down the country, there are literally thousands of farmers just like me, producing food and caring for nature. Let me show you how. There are 310,000 miles of hedges in England and Wales alone, enough to go around the world 12 times. They're not only an integral part of how the British countryside looks, but they also play a vital role in its upkeep. They keep livestock in and they keep the wind out. But they also provide shelter and a food source for a huge array of birds, mammals and insects. They're basically one great big long dinner table. They're also really important for bat navigation. Bats can't navigate over a featureless landscape, so they use hedges to find their food source and their homes. But this is just a taster. Without hedges, the wildlife in Britain just wouldn't be the same. So if the hedges are looking after all these animals, who's looking after the hedges? There are around 444,000 people working in agriculture across the UK. And an average farmer spends almost 100 hours every year managing hedgerows. Here on my farm, we rotationally trim our hedges every 3 years, so that 2/3 of the hedges are left untouched, leaving fruits and berries for the birds and wildlife to live on during the winter. If there are gaps, we plant young hedge plants to fill in those gaps, and when the hedges get too tall, we lay them to thicken them up. Since the 1990s, more than 7,000 miles of hedges have been planted by farmers. That's enough to get you from here to New York and back. But of course, it's not just hedges and walls that farmers are responsible for. If you want good food or the occasional tipple, then you'd be lost without the help of farmers. Farmers manage around 3/4 of the total land area of the UK. Nearly 40 million football pitches worth. Just one farmer can manage an area of crops about the size of a town. But we don't do it alone. We rely on the natural world and its diverse wildlife to help. Looking after the soil can help farmers with the long-term sustainability of their land. In fact, soil is one of our greatest assets. And the way to check for healthy soil is to look for earthworms. 1 square metre of soil can contain over 400 earthworms. And 1 tablespoonful of soil is literally alive with millions of organisms to help feed the plants. But what does all this caring for the countryside mean to you and me? Well, the food we eat and the drink we drink all comes from somewhere. But it's essential for the environment that farmers produce more and impact less. Jeremy, hi, great to meet you. Look at all this lovely produce. Now, you're a farmer. Tell me what happens on your farm.
Well, on our farm, we produce lots of lush green grass to keep our beef animals happy, and the meat that we then supply into local schools. We also grow barley, which makes beer and lager.
Now, can farmers really produce food and look after the environment at the same time?
Well, I believe they can do, because it's about getting a balance right between all the new technical advances, but with a balance to nature. On our farm, we allow our hedges to grow tall and wide, and we leave wildlife corridors between the hedges and the crops. Like many other farms in the country, we've got 15% of our land under conservation management, which then provides undisturbed habitats for a wealth of birds and animals.
You sound pretty passionate about it.
I am absolutely passionate about it. Yeah, new generation of farmers, I think.
On Sunday the 12th of June, hundreds of farms across the country will be opening their gates to the public as part of this year's Open Farm Sunday. Visiting a farm on Leaf's Open Farm Sunday is a fantastic way to learn more about the countryside and where the food on your plate comes from. And it's a great day out too. If you want to discover more about the countryside and the link between food, farming and nature, then log on to www.farmsunday.org to find a farm near you to visit on the 12th of June.